I am resident of Colorwood for YouTube. Joel Sage, that is my buddy Patrick McCray, that is my buddy Alan Gallant. We're here to review Strange Brew, directed by Rick Moranis and Dave Thomas, written by Rick Moranis and Dave Thomas and Steve D. Jarnetti. Let's see, based on Bob and Doug McKenzie by Rick Moranis and Dave Thomas. Produced by Louis M. Silverstein. That's it, starring Dave Thomas, Rick Moranis, Paul Dooley, Max von Sydow. Cinematographer is Stephen Poster. Music is by Charles Fox. Production company MGM, if you can't tell by the line where they were cranking the lion's tail. Release dates
Marvelous.
August 19th, 1983, Canada. August 26, 1983, US. So budget 4 million, box office 8.5 million. So yeah, that's not
A
shocking.
late summer
okay.
release.
Budget 4 million. Actual budget for production 300,000 after Max von Sydow's salary.
Max probably commanded his salary and put.
I bet he commanded. I bet I wouldn't be surprised if $1 million of it went to him, because they needed somebody,
to anchor it.
Yeah,
Yeah, and he didn't get better than Max von Sydow.
yeah.
No, they knew something. Rick and Dave knew something that whoever that guy was who made the Last Jedi or whatever didn't.
Yeah.
You got Max von Sydow. You had J.J. Abrams. If you got Max von Sydow, you used Max von Sydow.
Yep. And I'm thinking Max was a SCTV fan. I just, I mean, I know that he was pretty much willing to do comedies and serious stuff and all of that sort of stuff. But this is an unusual take for him.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, he did do Flash Gordon.
Yeah, he did Flash Gordon. Well, I mean, he gave him a chance to play Ming the Merciless. I mean, that's a classic character. So
he's from my father's small town. Charles Middleton, the actor who played him first. Town, Kentucky.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
Cool. When did you guys first see this movie, Patrick?
I saw it probably spring of '84 because it came out late summer of '83. So I desperately wanted to see it. I couldn't convince any of my parents to go, and I it was '83, right?
It was '83. Yes.
Yeah. But I thought it was delightful. I saw it on cable, and it was worth every moment. I really, really, really liked this movie.
Mm-hmm. I keep having a memory of seeing it, and I'm not sure if it's true, but I think it's true that I saw it at a drive-in.
That's a good place to see this movie.
Yeah, and I think I was probably pretty loaded on beer when I saw it too. So.
Was it Canadian? That's the important part.
Was it Canadian beer? Well, I used to drink Moosehead.
No, that's as Canadian as it gets.
Yeah. So well, of course, and I also grew up less than 400 miles from St. John, where Moosehead is made. There's a Molson brewery there. So
How close were you to the Canadian border?
What's that?
How close were you to the Canadian border?
Let's see. By way of Calais, going across Campobello to St. Stephen, I was probably about an hour and a half. But further up in actual New Brunswick, St. John, which is probably the biggest city, about 4 hours. About 4 hours. Pretty easy drive too, except in the wintertime. But I mean, it's pretty easy drive.
So in December of 1981, Rick Moranis and Dave Thomas released a Bob and Doug McKenzie comedy album, The Great White North, which sold 1 million copies.
Yeah, it was a huge hit.
Yep, the success of the McKenzie brothers led to SCTV show to center an entire 90-minute episode around the characters. The Great White North Palace was shared in April of 1982. Based on this success, they thought about paralleling that success into a feature film after fellow SCTV cast member John Candy got an offer from Universal Pictures to do a film called Going Berserk. Moranis and Thomas started talking about writing a screenplay, for a Bob and Doug film. Andrew Alexander, executive producer for SCTV, reminded them that he had exclusive contracts for the two, and if they wrote a script, he would sue them. What a jackass.
Yeah, pretty much.
Maris and Thomas soon found themselves faced with the challenge of expanding their improvisations on SCTV from two guys talking about how hard it was to get parking spaces in donut shops to a full-length story. Thomas said, "Oh my God." Guys,
Yeah.
this movie's, I'll read some more later, but this movie is a lot really funny. I like how in their parents' house, the dog is like growling at them for beer. That's hilarious.
I got to tell you a story. When back in my Wild and Woolly days, I had a friend who had a dog like that. Drank beer out of a dog bowl, because everybody in the house were drunks. Everybody, including myself when I was visiting. And Dusty was the dog's name, and looked exactly like the dog in this movie.
That's a good thing.
Oh my God.
Just this movie was to beer drinking drunks what Cheech and Chong was to pot smokers. Yeah,
Very much so.
It really was.
It was a funny thing, though, culturally. Cheech and Chong had greater saturation, I would say, with
Yes.
the middle school age crowd because
Oh,
it was
absolutely.
all forbidden.
Mm-hmm.
Because beer drinking was forbidden but possible.
Yes, it was
We didn't
totally
talk
possible
about it. We
in
didn't talk
Maine.
about this movie. It was, we
Yeah.
pretended it didn't exist.
This is also the kind of movie that was entirely culturally acceptable if it was done by a vast majority of Canadian actors, producers, writers, and everything else. You couldn't make this much fun of Ottawans unless you were Canadian and an Ottawan. And so it works. It's
Wouldn't want to either. I mean, who's American sits around there? I'm going to make fun of Canadians. I guess,
no, they're nice. They're nice people overall. I mean,
but Parker and Stone even treat them fondly.
Yes, of course. I mean, these guys, they're just obsessed with drinking beer all day, like Cheech and Chong are obsessed with smoking pot all day long.
Yeah.
So that's part of the joke, basically. But also, the whole take off, you hoser, all that stuff. You really, it's a good idea to be a Canadian to pull all that stuff off.
Yeah. I like how the woman in this movie's cutting a promo about her dad being dead and then her mom like getting married.
Well,
that's
so
the Hamlet thing.
It's the antecedent is Hamlet. I think they were faced with this thing. How do we make a story out of it? Let's go to the greatest story ever told, and it's Hamlet.
Yeah.
Move on from there.
Yeah. And they veer far afield from it, but that was the inspiration for them.
Yeah. But
do they veer far afield from it, or do they perfect it?
Well, I guess that beat up van is a vehicle, literally and figuratively.
They just realize what Shakespeare would have done if
it's
they
true.
had looser ratings.
It's true. I can see him now going, what did
Shakespeare would love this movie. He would love this movie.
Oh, I'm sure he would. I mean, he probably would have stolen some of the groundling humor out of it.
Oh yeah,
no doubt.
The fact that they made it funny though too, because she's like so irate about it, which is just hilarious. Yeah, Moranis and Thomas hired Steve D. Jarnetti to write the first draft. Initially, Thomas told D. Jarnett that he wanted to base the film story on Hamlet, but D. Jarnett's draft was too faithful to the play, and he was told to be more creative with the parallels. So Moranis and Thomas' agents sent the script to various Hollywood studios, and a few days later, they had a deal with Metro Goldwyn Mayer, MGM, based not on the script, but built on the record sales. The breakout potential, in fact, that it was being advertised on a television show, Thomas remembers.
And it was the characters that sold it. They already had the characters that were proven popular. So
yeah, MGM was unhappy with the script because Bob and Doug were improvised characters done on their comic voices, and they felt that nobody but themselves could write for these characters. Thomas began rewriting the script without Moranis, who was now uncertain about doing the film. Thank God he did. After working the first 50 pages. Oh my God. Moranis took a look at what Thomas had done, and then they began working together rewriting it. However, they were not sure just how much they would legally change, and did most of the changes in the third of the script. So there you go, guys. I actually love this movie. It's really fun. I like the whole castle, beer, mental hospital. It's all connected. The whole thing.
Yeah,
All
it's
the
good.
arrows in the same direction.
It looks like they may have found an actual institutional building of some kind to actually shoot a lot of this stuff in, with those floors. And oh yeah, my brother used to work at a mental health institute for years, so I know what the inside of those places look like. And it's like, yeah, this kind of looks like one of those. I'm not sure if they used a real brewery or whether they faked that or not. I didn't look into it too much, but yeah, it's Elsinore Castle. Come on, only it's a brewery instead of, but it's in a castle. It's pretty cool.
You guys think of Max von Sydow is at times funny in this movie. I do love the Star Wars hockey pads.
Oh yeah, the costumes are terrific. That's where, besides Max von Sydow, I think that's where the money went.
Yeah,
vacuum formed hockey costumes.
Yep. Those would not have been cheap to make in those days.
But they look great.
They do. They look excellent. Rollerball wishes it had costumes like that.
And I'm sure it was one
6 or 8 years beforehand. But
yeah.
But Von Sydow's perfect villain, and he dresses completely in black turtleneck, black pants, the whole 9 yards. And he has some inexplicable power where he can squeeze your head. Just bizarre stuff. I'm sure they probably developed some of that stuff while they were shooting it. How do I do this? Oh, go ahead, just grab his head, see what happens. Supporting cast is great in this. Everybody just goes along with everything. It's like a 90% Canadian cast.
Who is the girl? Have we ever seen her in anything else?
I haven't seen her in anything since. This is what she's most known for.
Yeah.
That much I do know. But she's still around. I don't know. Maybe she acts a lot up in Canada for the CBC or something. I don't know.
She's the Canadian Jessica Harper.
She's really cool in this movie. She's very, she has the sense of the overblown everything, the wacky sort of bizarro world that everybody's living in here. And so she does well as the sort of the damsel role. But she also sees through all the evildoers too, which of course gets everybody in trouble. So
her appearances include the horror films Black Christmas in 1974, Curtains in 1983, this movie here. She's a Canadian actress. She's known for her work in film, television, stage, and a recurring role on television. Does it say what? What was your recurring role on television? Wind at My Back from 1996 to 2001.
Sounds like a CBC series.
Yeah. She did return in a fan film for Black Christmas. So
cool.
But yeah, so that's who she is. That's who Lynn Griffin is. So there you go. Now, sorry. The people in the jail, the one guy actually, I don't think it is. It almost looks like George the Animal Steel. His bald.
Oh, the guy, sitting there staring at him on the bench after they just got done talking about like how they're gonna end up having to have sex with these big guys and all this sort of stuff. Yeah. that guy. Yeah, he does kind of
Second movie in a row with that theme in it.
Yes. Well, Dave Thomas's character is great because he's ultimately stalwart, but he always talks and acts like a freaking coward. It's like, oh, I'm going to call the police on you, all of this sort of thing. And you can just see them actually doing that to each other in high school,
Of course.
And then we get to see them interrupt their parents having sex, and of course, it's them having sex.
Yeah.
In parental drag. And it's Mel Blanc's voice, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Mel Blanc plays their father, vocally. Because you only see him that one time. The rest of the time, it's just his voice. So it's,
Yeah. He, as Father Mackenzie.
Yeah, Father Mackenzie. Mr. Mackenzie.
Mr. Mackenzie.
Not Father Mackenzie from the Beatles song. That would be bad.
Oh my God. Well, that's the strange thing here in the movie. They had him listed as Mr. Mackenzie. Here at our wiki, it's Father Mackenzie. It's
Oh
like,
my God. Oh, Mackenzie father would be a better way to put it, I think.
Yeah. Really, really. I like the little six shooting guns they have in this movie. They look cool. I know they're perfect. The little keyboard thing there at the
Oh yeah.
Oh, by the way, for the brewery you guys asked about, the former Hearn generation station in Toronto's Portland's area, a decommissionable coal to gas power plant was used for the brewery exterior.
Oh, okay, cool. That would supply all the industrial looking spaces for sure.
Yeah, that's what they used for the shot locations for that. Obviously,
Cool.
Eisenhower Castle, you guys mentioned. The Mackenzie House is actually located at 82 Uno Drive in rural New York. So, in case anybody just wants to drive by there and visit. I gotta admit, I never seen this movie till tonight. I was easily entertained.
Yeah.
Why does this not get talked enough about? I know Rick Moranis did bigger things.
Well, he did. I mean, Spaceballs was already out, I think, by this time or close to this time. And so he was also mainstream down in the States by this time. And SCTV was being not broadcast but syndicated down in the United States by this time. So everybody knew.
Not heavily.
Yeah, I mean, the Bob and Doug thing was huge. I mean, it was absolutely huge.
I think okay. So how did they really get propelled to fame? It was the album. It wasn't SCTV. It was the album.
Yes, the album.
Album you can take in passively. Rock stations would have cuts from comedy albums.
Yeah, in the one that was Takeoff was the cut. Takeoff to the White North. That was the cut, and they had Jetty Lee come on and play and sing a part of that whole thing while they did a monologue or not dialogue routine behind the music. So
you can enjoy that passively.
Yeah.
To make it active, I don't know if anyone really for American audiences. At least I don't know if there was a big hook for them to really. Oh, I got to see this movie.
Mm-hmm.
It was sort of like Remo Williams. It's a great movie.
Yeah,
but there just wasn't a hook that got people in. And so that was it. I think it was a little, because the rise of the John Landis style Saturday Night Live movie, especially Stripes, was definitely on the ascendancy.
Sure it was.
The continuum between Animal House and Ghostbusters, sort of the apotheosis of it. This kind of fit furtively in between, but it didn't have that, it had about as much of a hook as SCTV did, because it was admired, but it was not must attend American program.
No, this was a modest hit because its budget was low.
Yeah.
And it doubled its budget in returns. It wasn't a blockbuster by any means, but it was a
modest. Fine, it paid for itself.
Yeah.
And so I think, Jewel, that's why. When I think about this, I think about Dark Shadows in this sense, because you wonder, how did Dark Shadows vanish? Because by the time I was aware of Monster Kid type stuff, Dark who?
Right.
You know,
Sure.
I got to be 11 and I still hadn't heard of Dark Shadows, but I tell you, Jack Pierce says something.
Yeah.
Because there were, you didn't have reruns because it was just too massive for most stations to syndicate.
Yeah, and even if you
Right.
did have reruns, it was sporadic. Yeah, you'd have a couple
You
of
had
hundred
no idea if you're going
episodes,
to get a
and that's
Barnabas
it. Yeah,
episode.
yeah.
But you watch Frankenstein meets the Wolfman, you get the Wolfman, you get Frankenstein's
And
monster.
it's done, right? It's all
Yeah,
self-contained.
it's all there.
And Gilligan's Island the same way, a lot easier to package because you didn't even have to show it in order.
Yeah, you get Gilligan, and that's fine.
Yeah.
So with this, uh, uh, you didn't have these qualities. And with Dark Shadows, you didn't have that thing, and so without reruns, without any way to access it, there's no reason for fan magazines to keep covering it.
Mm-hmm.
So it literally could vanish out of the zeitgeist
Yeah.
completely. You knew the old vampire mask, but
Yeah.
if you
Yeah,
were,
it vanished. It literally vanished, except for a few tens of thousands of rabid fans that kept buying the antique comic books and doing all of that stuff and going to the conventions, by the several thousand at its height. But yeah, you're right. Until they re-released the entirety of the series on videotape, that kind of generated a sort of a peak interest in the 90s.
Catherine's book.
Yeah, Catherine's book in '86, so that's leading into the '90s again. There was a lot. There was a lot in the late '80s going on. The fact that it once, and then Sci-Fi Channel in '92, we're going to show the whole thing. We're going to be the first station to show the whole thing since it was actually on the air, and that accessed a lot more people that were watching sci-fi movies. And let's watch this since there's 2 episodes on at midnight or whatever time it was. And a lot of people were binge watching the Sci-Fi Channel in the early days anyway because they had all of this classic science fiction series and movies on. And then they started producing their own movies, most of which were not very good.
David Keith got to eat.
Yeah, gotta eat. It's true. So does Keith David, for that matter, right?
Did they start in a movie together?
I don't think so. Maybe I don't recall.
That's an obvious one.
That would be a great headline, right? You just put the two names together: David Keith, Keith David, right across the top.
They're like Boeing.
Yeah.
Oh, they did Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis, and it wasn't a Martin and Lewis. And he did something weird with the Boeing title.
Yeah.
The two stars of that. Tony Curtis.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's some of you guys' favorite scenes in this movie?
One just stands out to me still. I got to go so bad I can taste it.
Yeah, that's just the most ridiculous scene in the whole movie. But yes, they hired a dirigible and put a Rick Moranis costume on it.
Yes.
Oddly prescient of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yes, oddly prescient. Honey, I expanded my waistline.
Honey, I blew up the baby.
Yeah, I bloated myself.
Yeah.
But that could have been a potentially cringe moment, but they decided to cut to the chase,
Sure.
showing the hoses all around him and stuff, and him zipping his fly up. So that was kind of funny. I really, really enjoyed Max von Sydow's psychological gesture, besides just going like this all the time, was just saying "shut up" to his henchmen. Shut up. No comment on it at all. Just shut up.
Such a perfect, he's a perfect heel, but he's also funny in a way of the way he's talking to his men. It's like
he totally plays it straight.
Yeah.
He's not a goof in this movie at all, except he is.
No,
of course.
And that's Paul Dooley's job.
Yes, Paul Dooley is the goof because he is a professional at reacting to things that way. And that's what he's doing, and BSing everybody and then getting caught at it.
A vastly underrated actor.
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, I remember watching him. I think the first thing I remember him doing was some silly shaving commercial or something back in the '60s. I mean, he was guest starred on almost every sitcom ever made.
Those Altman movies.
Yeah, and then later on, he was in a lot of films. But I remember from TV shows when I was a kid. He was on a ton of them. And then, I mean, his career is like, I mean, he's still alive. He's in his 90s now. I think he's like 98 or something like that. He's still.
Oh, good. I
Yeah.
want to live in a world where Paul Dooley's still alive.
Yeah, he's still around. Yeah, I mean, he was one of those faces. You saw a lot. You didn't know his name back. I didn't know who he was back then. But he was on. My God, he was on everything from what Andy Griffith to friggin' everything. He was on a ton
And
of stuff.
he hit a certain age and never aged again.
No,
Seems
no, he
no, he
got
just
like at 45 or 50 years old.
Yeah,
He
he
stayed
got to
there
be
until
Paul
he was like
Dooley
75.
and just stayed there.
Yeah, yeah.
His roles include Breaking Away, Popeye, this
Mhm.
movie, Strange Fruit, 16 Candles. He was also various Christopher Guest mockumentaries.
Yes.
Oh
He
yeah.
he co-created the PBS children's show, The Electric Company.
Oh, awesome. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's cool.
God,
Very cool.
doesn't do anything.
So now we know who to blame for the easy reader. So,
Well, God, I wonder if he had a hand in the casting, because the casting of that show was
it was great, actually. They had a lot of really, really top flight actors in that show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they did. They had a great, great cast on that show.
Yeah. I give this movie a 12, guys. What do you give it?
Oh yeah, it's just what it is. It's just
It's
a
a way
goof.
above 10.
Yeah.
I love this film.
Yeah.
I love the cool stuff they shot outside the movie theater too. Them being chased, them hide, and the beginning of this is really fun too. It's a
Yeah,
non.
there's obviously a bit of improvisation between the two of them throughout this
Yeah.
movie, expanding on the script because you can just kind of tell when they're into the brother thing.
Well, it helped that they directed the movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was going to say cut?
That's right. Keep going. Hey, you hoser, keep the camera going, okay?
They should do a sequel to this with Ryan Reynolds playing Rick Moranis' son. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah. There you go. Is there anything you guys want to add before we go about this movie?
It's great. Go see it.
No, yeah, I would say. I mean,
Go see it.
you can. There are free versions on YouTube.
What about what's tomorrow? Is Welcome to the Dollhouse?
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah,
good movie.
That's
Welcome
cool.
to the
Really
Dollhouse.
good movie.
Yeah,
Yep.
we'll do that.
And it helps. I would look up just for yourself the Roger Ebert review of it at the time.
Okay.
It's only 3 or 4 minutes, and it puts it into a nice context.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So tomorrow night, Welcome to the Dollhouse. Remember, guys, in May, we're reviewing a really bad remake that we're all going to shit on.
Either April 30th or May 1st.
The link to Patrick McCray's Dark Shadows Daybook on Val is going to be in the description box. Link to Alan Gallant's YouTube channel. College Sport After Dark is going to be in the description box. You guys have a safe night. Take care.
Good night, Joel. Take care.
Right. Have safe sex.
Yeah.